Klaus Eckhof joins us now. He's the founder of Rome Resources, which is developing a couple of very attractive looking tin prospects in the Democratic Republic of Congo. There's been some reasonable news flow from the company of late. Klaus, tell us what the most recent developments are.
Yeah, I'd maybe go back a little bit. So early in the year, with the eastern part had some issues with a rebel group in the eastern part of Congo, Walikale, Bunia in that region, Goma, and that dragged on for around 8 to 12 weeks. But it has been solved over the last 3 weeks. In the meantime, we had to interrupt the exploration program, which disturbed basically the region there. There was no immediate threat there, but just as a precaution, companies like Alphamin, who are operating next to us, stopped production, and we basically just took our exploration team out of the location where we are based and moved them to Kisangani. That has been all solved in the recent time, recent weeks, and everybody has gone back to site. The drill rigs are close to be operational again, and within the next week we should start drilling again. Naturally, we also had some logistic issues there because we couldn't operate anymore in Goma or in Walikale. So some of the samples from the drill rig or from the drilling program were locked up and got stuck in those locations, but that has been also all solved. The assays are imminent for hole 24 and 26, which we expected a couple of months ago. But that during that process there, we basically couldn't do much other than just stand by and wait for it. But in summary, we basically where we were before. Everything is ticking over. There was no major sort of impact really, other than a precautionary impact which we had to do, just to keep everybody safe.
So remind us of the prospectivity of these projects. I mean, you've had some very attractive intersects already with some really interesting and promising looking grades. What's the prize here?
Well, I mean, as we know, the anomalies were quite large initially. We did some shallow drilling to date. Most of the intercepts had mineralization and confirmed also our view on the project. It's triple the size and potentially BC, but we are at an early stage. We in the top 150 meters only. And the real grades usually pick up to the south only after 200-meter depths. So we expect the hole 24 and 26, which are coming out hopefully next week or so, to show that the grades improve at depths, and that we will also prove again, with drilling some deeper holes over the next 2-3 weeks, kicking off with the program there.
And what's the situation as regards resource or resource updates?
Yeah, I mean, we have already in-house calculated some resources, and the whole 24 and 26, if that comes in, then we will plug that into the resource model, and then we can announce a resource probably, let's be safe, in the next 4 weeks or so. So it's pretty close, and we're pretty confident that we have something out by that time.
And what will you do after that?
Well, we will continue drilling, depending on what the holes 24 and 26 is. We planned already some deeper holes underneath of it, but we will also drill on strike and extend the resource to the north and to the south.
What sort of conclusions can investors draw about how economic this project might be at this point?
Well, if we prove what we said all along, that the grades improve with depths, then we can expect that the grades will be even better at deeper levels, around 300, 400, 500 meters, which is, if you look at BC from Alphamin, they're mining around 800-meter deep. So it's pretty much normal to expect the grades better at depths rather than on the top. However, we still have also the copper occurrences and the zinc occurrences on the surface, which are quite good grades too, around 2-3% in the copper range, and then in the zinc range around 7 to 8%. That certainly will help. Plus, the area which we are operating on our own ridges. So there is no major overburden there. So the strip ratios will be virtually zero.
So you mentioned Alphamin. They're very close to you, aren't they? What does that mean as far as the sort of potential viability of your own projects are concerned?
Well, naturally, you know, if the viability of our project wouldn't be exactly a standalone, you know, then we always can look at Alphamin, or we can always talk to them. That would be the downside. But the upside is that we actually same size, same type of deposit, and maybe even bigger. Then we can look at it as a standalone operation there. I mean, we got some big shareholders in there, Congolese also, who were in the mining game in the Katanga region. Then we will have also some other major shareholders coming in probably in the next 2-3 months, which would look at also running the operations or even take it over.
So, and does it help in terms of permitting and logistics that Alphamin's already established itself in the region?
Yeah, well, that certainly would help. At the moment, we're pretty much standalone. You know, we don't need anybody there. But to create the access to the site, that would cost around $800,000, $1 million. So it's not exorbitant to create the infrastructure to drive in and drive out of the prospect. But at this stage, we don't have to do that because we're operating just on site with the drill rigs, and we don't have to drive in and out.
And finally, Klaus, tell us a little bit about the tin market at the moment. How does that look from your perspective?
Well, naturally, you saw, you know, when Alphamin stopped the production, then the tin price went up 15% from 30,000 to 35,000. So that has come back now since Alphamin came back online again. But in summary, there is not much tin projects who are economic around those levels. I mean, most of the projects need 25,000 US as a minimum price. And then the margins are not really that great at 30,000 US. So there is not much coming online. And then the grades, naturally, as we all know, you know, that grade is king. And there's not much grade around in the world. You know, there's only a few prospects like San Rafael in Peru and a few other ones, but nothing really of that size or the grade which exists in the DRC.
Well, we look forward to watching your progress over the next couple of months, and good luck with the resources, with the resource. Thanks for joining us today, Klaus.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, and have a great day.